Dive, dive, dive. Yes, those three words. I know they're the same word, but it's still the three words linked together that we all want to hear right now. And we're so close to hearing it. But we are still here to talk live diving with you for more scuba snacks. Thank you for joining us. Ross back in the house, and I'm sure we've got Linky somewhere around here. But we've got some fun stuff that we're going to talk about today. Go ahead, let us know where you're signing in from. We'd love to hear from all of you. We've had some really cool people all the way. We had some people over in Korea that signed in the other time. We had Alaska. But right now, let's introduce ourselves to the panel. We've got our lovable David, who wishes he were underwater because that's just a better place to be, but he is signing in from his apartment. So the huggable David, please say hi.
Hey, everybody. Always happy to be here. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. And we've got the COVID hairstylist himself, Nate, one of our interns
Hey guys,
back.
what's going on?
And we have a new member of our Talk Dive Live. Yes, Bella, whose name is so Bella. There's so many things to say with the name. Yes, please say hi, Bella.
Hey guys.
So let us know where you're calling from or where you're signing in from. You may be on a phone. Please don't be driving while you're doing this. I know that we're going to be talking about diving. As a matter of fact, today we're going to be talking about the open water diver course because several people out there have actually been signing in who are not even certified yet. So we'd like to talk about the certification, how to do it, things that you can link. I said the magic word. And also what to expect during the course. Who can take the course? Why should you take it? All of those good things. So let's go ahead and start with David because he seems to be our guy that's going to talk about some courses for us. To see, David, what is a good idea of a structure of the open water course itself? Hey, goeiedag Gerre. Hopelijk is alles goed hoor.
Hey, so basically, the way we do it, and this really works out nicely, is that there's an e-learning part that you can do at home on your own pacing. It probably takes about 10 to 12 hours all told, and you learn a lot of the background stuff and the theory and things that you don't really need to have an instructor talking to you about. And then we spend 2 days working with you. The mornings are in our pool, at our training center pool, where we teach you all of the skills that are part of the open water course. And the 2 afternoons are on the boats. You actually get to go diving in the beautiful Keys. And by the time you've done all of your skills on the boats as well, at the end of that second day, if all went well and you mastered the skills, you will be a certified open water diver or a junior open water diver if you are a younger person, because you can actually start this at the age of 10. Hello from Chicago.
Nice, age of 10. That's fantastic. So yes, as a matter of fact, what David is talking about is the fact that the PADI open water diver course, you can start in the comfort of your own home, kind of like your scuba snacks that you've got going right now. We may need a refresher. Yeah. And absolutely, if you needed a refresher, come on down. So because here's the thing, once you get certified as a scuba diver, you're always certified as a scuba diver. It's not like they're going to come, there's not like the PADI police is going to come and say, you haven't been diving in a while. You haven't been diving in a while, so you need to do a refresher. So they're going to leave that to you. So maybe it has been a while because of our recent lockdown. So you will need to do a refresher. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we're going to get to that later on in the program. But what David was talking about is that there's actually a structure to the way that the course has to be delivered. There are going to be 5 confined water dives and 4 open water dives, all the way from Egypt. That's cool. Looks good. Thank you for signing in again. So I'd like to go to Bella because I know I've actually seen her in the confined water teaching the courses. Can you tell me how an average first day of doing your open water diver course would go?
Hey Ross. So the first day of the open water course is, for me personally, it's really about building the confidence of my students because when you start the course, you really are starting from scratch. And so as an instructor, I really love getting to teach the basics to my students and watch their confidence grow from having very little knowledge of the open water course to learning the basic confined water skills and feeling really confident in their abilities so that they can set up their own gear and they can follow the skills and follow along with the course. And I think it's really cool to see that progress just in the first day alone. It's a really tremendous amount of progress.
Cool. That's really interesting. So if you're just signing in to us right now, we're talking about the open water diver course and how to take it, who should take it. To be perfectly honest, anyone that can swim should take it, and if you can't swim, then maybe we'll teach you how to swim so you can take it. Because there's just nothing better than being underwater, which is why we're all here for our scuba snacks. But yes, so today we're talking about the open water diver course, and we're also I'd like to talk to you and get everybody to say hi. We've actually got a couple of really cool highs from like Colorado and Egypt, and here we go. We've all from Bonaire. Cheers, mate. Keep signing in. Let us know where you're calling in from. Let us know where you got your open water certification and what led you to getting that open water certification. Those are some really cool points, especially for the instructors, because we like to spend the time with the divers, getting to know them. Hey, Tim. Thank you for calling in from Pennsylvania, because that's what we like to do, right? Get people water, get them enjoy themselves. You might also see behind us we have some gear. This is actually our set for our online tent sale that's coming up, not tomorrow, Saturday, but a week from Saturday. Yes, folks, we're going to have a 3-hour tent sale. We're going to have more information on that throughout the show. Um, yes, big round of applause for that. We've been working very hard to get all of the wonderful things on that tent sale so that you too can come down and get some gear so you can do your open water course in it. So we're talking about the open water course, and we're talking about the different aspects that go into the open water course. We've already been talking about the confined water portion because that's where we started, right? We want to learn how to do the skills, mass skills, neutral buoyancy skills in the confined water before we get into the open water. And we can actually do that the way that we do it here. We can do a morning session in the confined water and then an afternoon session in the open water. So that's really cool. Something that David mentioned was that you can actually do this as early as 10 years old. Yes. Now, back in the 1900s, you had to be 12 years old, and then they discovered that actually there was nothing that could physically stop you from scuba diving unless there was something extraordinary when you were 10. So I'd like to go to our youngest panelist because I believe I heard something about him being certified as a junior open water diver first. How old were you, Nate, when you got certified?
I was 13 years old. Not quite 10, but
Wow.
pretty close.
Yeah, well, a lot closer to 10 than I was, that's for sure. Uh, and the other thing, thank you, thank you. I'll be here all afternoon, actually. I really will. I think I locked myself in. But the other thing that's interesting to note is that you don't have to go to PADI to be an open water certified diver. Most organizations do similar things. With whom were you certified?
I was originally certified with NAUI.
Okay. And what kinds of things did they do compared to maybe what you're seeing that is different that we do, or is there really anything that's different?
There are very little differences. We had a lot more like in classroom sessions, like we would sit down, but other than that, not much. I mean, the instructors here are by far my favorite, but the experience back home, to no fault of the course itself, the instructors were less than desirable. And so I think the experience just with the one-on-one more time as opposed to like you have your face buried in a book, I prefer the PADI way of teaching.
All right. That's fair to say. So, David was mentioning earlier about the e-learning. David, could you walk us through a little bit of what e-learning is and how can somebody sign up for e-learning, especially out there right now who is not yet certified?
Yeah, absolutely. So PADI has they really just keep updating it and upgrading it. So it becomes more and more interactive as we go. But basically, you sign into your PADI account. I'll get to that in a second. And it has a series of modules, and each module video that's at most maybe 3 or 4 minutes because we really don't want to overwhelm you at one time. And then there's a series of quick quizzes just to make sure that you are sort of paying attention and remembering things. And then as you get to the very end of the sort of overall chapter, which might be dedicated to some of the physics or physiology, it might be dedicated to the gear, whatever the different chapter is, there will be a section test as well. And once you've done all of that, whoever you're taking the course with, whoever sent you the code for the e-learning, they'll know that you've done everything. And we just do a very, very quick review quiz when we get with you and then just get you right into the pool. But basically, whatever dive shop, hopefully us, but whatever dive shop you want to do it with, you just tell them you want to take their open water course. They will send you a link and a code, and you will be able to set up your account. And at that point, you can do it at your own pace. So, especially these days when we don't know when we're getting back in the water, if you want to do 10 minutes a day, you can do it. If you want to binge it like Netflix, you can do that too. It's all up to you.
Yes, the open water course brought to you by Netflix. Ching, that sound is definitely in my head. So yes, it the e-learning is a wonderful route to go for the open water and for any of the training really because you can do it on your own time when you're ready. You can contact the instructor at any time. For instance, the dive shop that has actually sent you the link will be the dive shop that you should contact if you've got a question on some of the materials. So that's also a very important thing to keep in mind because the instructors are able to see the score along the way. So they're going to also know little sections or portions that you may need some help with when you get to us and you do your quick review so that we can get in the water because the water is really the place that we want to be. Hey, it's Linky, or Linky's sister, Linky, right? Now, Linky wanted me to bring up the fact that there are several, as a matter of fact, 11 courses, specialties that you can link to the open water diver. We've spent a lot of time talking about the peak performance buoyancy course, and this is one that we all recommend that anyone should take, everybody should take. But there's a way to actually link the peak performance buoyancy specialty to the open water course with just one extra dive. So that would definitely be something that you want to get with your instructors and talk to them about. Now, Nate, I understand that you did the peak performance buoyancy specialty by itself, but could you tell us a little bit about the peak performance buoyancy specialty that you might want to link to the open water course?
Sure. So the peak performance buoyancy, as Ross was saying, it's nothing but helpful. There's no reason not to do it. The parts that were like the most helpful towards it and why it would be beneficial towards open water is it gets you to be more comfortable in the water. It also gets you to be more comfortable to get ready to get in the water. I know personally when I first began diving, I was always so intimidated by I don't know how much weight I need. Like, am I overweighted? Am I underweighted? I don't want to embarrass myself. If you get this course out of the way, you're going to not only build your confidence on the surface, but also underwater because you know you're exactly where you need to be and diving with as much or as little weight as you need.
Nice. So the peak performance buoyancy would definitely be something you would want to link with the open water course. Absolutely. There are other courses, specialties specifically, that you can do. For instance, you can do a digital underwater photography. If you're in the colder areas, you could actually do dry suit, where you would do all 4 of the open water training dives in a dry suit, and then you would do 1 extra dive in the dry suit as well, and that would constitute as the specialty. And your instructor would be able to talk to you about those types of things. It really is a way of maximizing your dives and getting more tuned in with your diving right away, right? Now, Bella, tell us something. When you go out in the open water, say for your final 2 checkout dives, what are some of the favorite things or favorite sights and things that you can show people while they're doing their dives? Because everybody thinks that when you're doing the course, it's just training, training, training. But it's not all just training, 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 is it?
Yeah, so for the final 2 open water dives of the open water course, I like to try and make sure that my students have completed most of their skills by dive 3. That way, dive 4, we've already completed the majority of our skills. We can do the more simple skills, such as preparing for the dive, doing a pre-dive safety check with our buddies, and then we pretty much just enjoy the dive. I really love, most often we get to go to Molasses Reef, which is an awesome reef here in Key Largo. And I like taking my students there because there's lots of different marine life to look at, lots of beautiful fish and coral, and if we're lucky, sometimes we see sharks too, and that is always a fan favorite. So it's not all training and hard work. Of course, it is fun and it is work, but you still get to see a lot of cool stuff, and it's still an awesome experience.
Absolutely. I remember one time I was teaching a class. I had 4 people in front of me, and I was trying to say, "Okay, good. Now you do something." And they all kind of started to look like this, and were like really big eyes because there was a shark that was just swimming right behind me. Yeah, it wasn't coming towards me. I would have had moved one of the students in the way. No, I wouldn't have done that. That's what the dive. No. So if you're just joining in or just signing in to us now, we'd love to hear where you're calling in from or signing in from. I know calling in from, I sound like I'm on a TV show or something like that. Where are you logging in from? We want to hear from you. We've actually had some people from Egypt. We've had a couple of people asking about the Keys. Yet the Keys are still locked down for all non-residents. So unfortunately, that's right now a bit of a kibosh on diving, which is why we're talking about diving here. We're bringing you our very own scuba snacks so you can double dip, triple dip, you can trip and dip. I don't care. Just listen up and give us those questions. We've got somebody asking about how long the e-learning is good for. All training, all PADI training is valid for 12 months from the last training session that you have done. E-learning, for instance, is one of those training sessions. If you are then able to get with an instructor, either to do a quick review or to do a, shall we say, a confined water session, then that 12-month mark starts again from the last time that you did that training session. So in essence, it could go on for a very long time. Also, if you start your training at a specific dive store, and even if you are 2 years late, as long as it's at the same dive center with whom you started it, you can pick up. Now, most likely, PADI is going to recommend that the instructor do a quick review to make sure that you haven't lost or forgotten all the information, most specifically, of course, the tables, but you can pick up where you left off. And the instructor can call PADI for further verification. But that is a good thing to note, that yes, if you wanted to purchase your open water course now, or your advanced open water course, or your rescue course, or your IDC, we've got about 20 people that are taking an IDC right now at various stages on Zoom. So we can actually do some training, which is pretty cool. And you can start your open water or your rescue course right now, get through with all the knowledge reviews, watch all of the videos, and then when you come down, simply splash, get wet, do all the skills. So, David, tell me something. What would be a good advice for somebody that is wanting to take the open water course that just doesn't know how to start yet? What should they do?
Well, you should call your local dive shop. If you think that you're going to come down here or you're already down here, give us a call. But otherwise, just look up, see what your local dive shop is. I just saw someone on from Pan Aqua. I know that dive shop up in New York, and I've worked with them in the past when I was still in New York. So literally, just give them a call and say, "Hey, I'm interested in learning how to dive." And they'll get you the e-learning codes and that sort of thing. They'll answer whatever questions you have about process. Obviously, in these uncertain times, you'll sort of sort that all out as well. Another thing that you can do, by the way, is if you're in a very cold place and you're planning to do warm water diving, you can actually do the e-learning and the 5 confined water dives with your local dive shop, and they can issue what's called a referral. And then you could do your open water dives down here in Key Largo, where you'll be able to experience the beauty of the reefs as well. So that's another option for people. So there's really it's really a very very flexible system, and any dive shop that's worth its salt will be more than happy to work with you and get you all the information that you need.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, David. Yes, as a matter of fact, that really is the easiest way to start. There are several dive centers, ourselves included, that actually have what's called an affiliate link, where you can actually go onto their website and they will link directly to PADI, and you can purchase the course through the dive store's website and then get the course that way. But you saw the telephone number there, 305-451-7171. That's 305-451-7171. Give us a call. We've got people on the phones all day long, and in some cases at night. So you can give us a call. You can sign up right away. All we need is your name and your email address, and we can actually send you that code, and you could start on your open water adventure right away, even during these times. And like David said, if you have a dive center that's near you that you want to do the confined water sessions, not a problem. Go ahead and get the confined water portion of it completed. Then come on down and we'll do what we call the 4 checkout dives. You need to do 4 dives in order to be certified. You can only do 3 training dives in a day. So what my recommendation is talk to the person, talk to your instructor, talk to the dive center, tell them that you want to link to another specialty. Since you can do 3 training sessions in a day, you can do 3 on day 1 and then do 2 more on day 2 with 1 specialty and walk away with 2 certifications. For more, you can actually do the Project Aware specialty. We've been doing them almost twice a week right now. We've certified a little over 140 people already in the Project Aware specialty. It's been a wonderful time that we've had on Zoom with these guys and gals. It's just been fantastic to be able to share the underwater environment, talk about everything that's underwater is alive until you touch it, and the importance of being a good steward for the ocean, not just counting your dives, but making your dives count. So if you'd like to join us on that, we've got information on the Facebook pages. You can also send us a chat. We'd be really like to hear from you. If you've taken the course, let us know what you thought. We've just been doing a couple of them, so we can always learn for more stuff. So there you go. Bella, now back to you. Now you were talking about being able to sort of front load. I think you're talking about the skills that are flexible, the dive flexible skills in dive 3, so that you could just have more fun on dive 4. What's some of the most funnest creatures you've seen during your open water course, or any other course that matter, but something where you were teaching, but you saw something, you were like, oh, you know what, whatever, we got to go see this.
Cool. Perhaps the coolest thing that I've seen while diving with my students is one time, of course, sharks are everyone's favorite, but I also really like to look at the little small things, small things make the biggest difference, I believe, sometimes. And so I've seen with my students itty bitty little shrimp, little lobsters, little nudibranchs, which are actually quite rare for me to find here. I've only seen them a few handful of times. So I think those are really interesting. After I've done a skill with a student, I might say, hey, hold on a second, pause, and we'll check out something really small that may have been easily overlooked. I think it's nice to look at small things. Of course, everyone loves sharks and sea turtles. Those are always awesome, but I like to take a moment and appreciate all the beauty of the ocean.
Fantastic. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the episode, but a couple episodes back, I said that you could basically split scuba divers down the middle as a yoga diver or a shark diver. Now, sometimes there's a little yoga in shark, and sometimes there's a little shark in yoga, but this is a perfect example of yes, sometimes you just need to be a yoga diver and chill and see the little stuff. It's the coolest part of it, you know? So, Nate, since we're in the cool hair kind of talk, why don't you share with us? Have you had you've been diving since you were a kid? What's sort of the coolest little critter that you've seen?
Oof. Coolest little critter, hands down. I love my Christmas tree worms. Those are the best things ever. I love, 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 love them. Even when you don't see anything underwater, you're bored. You can go and look at the reef, look at the wreck, look at something, and you just see a little guy peeking up out. And if you just disturb them gently, like a little snap of your fingers or just a slight little nudge, not touch, but something to disturb the water around them, they just shrink right back down. It is the most entertaining thing. I love those guys.
Well, it's very difficult sometimes to get Nate to actually tell us what he really likes. So I think now we all know what to buy him for Christmas, and certainly now where to put them for on his tree. But it is cool to watch those things. Oh dear. So, if you're just joining us now, thank you for joining us. Sorry, we're near the end of it, which is cool because this is our definite double dip scuba snack time. But if you are just signing into your Facebook, go ahead and let us know where you're signing in from. Also, if you would, let us know where you're going. Oh, arrow crabs, absolutely, Bob. Let us know where you got your open water diver course, and if you got it here, we want to know that, and we want to see a picture. All right. And if you aren't certified yet, come on down, get certified with us. As soon as we're going to give you an update when we can open up. But make sure you link that course. Something that you can actually start on right now is even the nitrox course, because that's another e-learning that we can do. We can link it to the open water course to the point where we can even dive using nitrox or enriched air nitrox on the final dive of your open water course. So yes, absolutely. Thank you, Linky. Linky just popped in to make sure that I talked about the nitrox because it's very important. Because it is a non-dive specialty. And as a matter of fact, there are only 2 practicals that you have to do as part of that specialty, which makes it a very easy course to link to the open water, or to be perfectly honest, any course. And if you're not nitrox certified, we talked about the benefits of nitrox one of our other episodes. We're going to talk about it again. As a matter of fact, we're going to have our roving reporter showing us how he's going to blend nitrox. It's kind of like a thing with a cauldron, and he just kind of goes boil and toil and trouble. No, really, but sorry, didn't mean to scare you. Linky thought I meant hair. So yes, so definitely take your nitrox course at the same time. Same thing, 305-451-7171. Give us a call, and we can get you that enriched air nitrox code, and you can start right now from your home. So one way or the other, we want to get you in the water. We want to get you creating your own scuba snacks so that you can share them with other people. Remember, you have to bring the ocean to your home for those people that don't scuba dive. So be that person. So without further ado, let's get some scuba snacks going. So Nate, without talking about the worms again, because we know how I am about worms and snake-like looking things, what might have been one of your most interesting up-close encounters of in the underwater world that you'd like to share with us?
Interesting up close encounter. Right after I finished my AOW, actually down here as a student, I was on a fun dive, and it was just my mom, my dad, me, and the guide. We were going through, and all of a sudden we saw one nurse shark come relatively close to us, and then directly behind him was a second one, a third one, and then right behind us was a little bit of a smaller reef shark. They weren't doing anything, they were minding their own business. We just happened to stumble upon them. But just having those four sharks just in close proximity to me and just looking around and being, oh wow, I'm in their home and hope I don't break anything. That was one of those humbling moments for me. I love it.
It's a very humbling moment. Yeah, the ocean can humble you really easily. I find, which is another reason why we do need to be stewards for the ocean when we do that giant stride every single time, so that we're taking as much caution and care for the underwater water environment. Yes, Bella, how about yourself?
So actually, one of my first dives that I did down here in Key Largo after I joined the Rainbow Reef family, we were at Fire Coral Cave, and a pack of, I think, 5 or 6 massive, absolutely huge spotted eagle rays flew right past my group, and it almost felt in that moment as if they were swimming in slow motion. They were so, so beautiful. And I know that first memory of diving with Rainbow Reef will never be topped. It was just way too cool.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, it's amazing to watch them flying. And it looks like they're flying, but they're swimming in formation. Just stunning, stunning creatures. If you've had one of those encounters like that, let us know about it. Type it into the chat. We've got people actually responding on the chat. I go in. We all go in. We love to hear about your scuba snacks as much as we like to talk about our scuba snacks. So we've got one scuba snack left, David. I've left you for last, so you could really pick and choose and double dip and triple dip and let us have it.
All right. Before I do that, I want to quickly answer a question from Colin, who asked whether you can do the advanced open water in 2 days. And yes, you can. Again, there's an e-learning portion that you'll need to do beforehand, but advanced open water has 5 dives. We can do 3 on one day, 2 on the next day. So absolutely come on down and do that with us. Uh, Bella just reminded me of a pretty extraordinary moment as well, also involving eagle rays. It was during my dive master course, which I did here at Rainbow Reef. And we were finished with the skills and we were just sort of swimming around, and we were on French Reef. And I don't remember whether it was Christmas Tree Cave or Sandbottom Cave, but we were swimming through one of those swim throughs. And as I came out of the swim through, and you just sort of see that beautiful color blue when you're first sort of coming out of it, an eagle ray just sort of swam right by like that. And it was one of those picture perfect magical moments that, just kind of stick with you. And it was like the cave was so cool, the color was so beautiful, and then the eagle ray swims by, and it was like, I'm really glad to be here. The rest?
Oh, looks like David was getting ready to. Yes, Jay, as a matter of fact, we do have several wrecks. We've got the Bib, we've got the Dwayne, we've got the Benwood, we've got the Spiegel Grove, we've got the City of Washington. We go to every wreck every day. We've got that many boats. So all you need to do is get down here when they open things up. And this is everybody. Just come down. Let us take you diving. This is what we want to do. We're hopefully going to be on the boat soon so that we can hear the captain say, dive, 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 and we can go on in and we can have those moments. I guarantee every one of those moments that they talked about with the eagle rays and stuff will be the one day that they did not bring their camera, because when you bring your camera, you don't see the cool stuff. And when you don't bring your camera, you do. But at least you've got the moments that you can share over a beer, sitting at home, hopefully when we go socially distancing ourselves to the bar and sharing the scuba snacks. We're doing the same thing here. We don't have the beer. Well, at least I don't. Maybe you do. Cheers. But yes. And the other thing about that advanced course is if you come down, don't forget the link with the advanced course as well. 3 training dives in one day. So day 1, do your 3 training dives. Day 2, do 3 more. That way you can do another specialty. And if you do that dive against debris is a 1 dive specialty. You can do it during the advanced course, which means that with 5 dives, you walk away with 2 certifications. So now you can link 1 more specialty like the peak performance buoyancy and walk away with 3 certifications. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to link. We're here to scuba snack ourselves and just talk diving. We want to get back in. We want to get back in the water. We want you to get back in the water. What can you say, guys? These are crazy times, but at least we've got our memories and we can talk about what we used to do, and then we can actually make it happen when we go out there and do it. So for now, I'd like to say thank you all for joining us. Let us know again where you joined us from. Don't forget about our tent sale a week from Saturday. That's going to be from noon to 3 or 1 to 3. I'm going to let Carlos deal with that. But we'll get you more information on that. You can see our beautiful display of things that are going to be on sale. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in your very own house. You don't even have to take off your slippers. And don't call them flippers. So for now, thank you all for joining us. From Nate, David, Bella, dive on.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.